Welcome to assignment 4 of topic 1, in which we now have some code already written for us. So let's see what the assignment asks us to do, and that's about swapping. The swap trick it's called. Write a program that reads two inputs into the two variables a and b. Make sure that the contents of a and b are swapped before printing. We already provided the code for the input and the output, so you should only provide the code for the swap between the two lines of comment lines. Yes, you can update this program but are not allowed to change it. So what they of course mean is you cannot change what is there already. You can only add to things. Okay, so as you can see, we have the usual import here. We have two reads. A read for first read that gets assigned its result to A, then a second read which goes into B, and then we print A and B. So at this point you should expect the echo, if you want, to be in the same order. If I give this program 1 and then 2, you should expect to see it print 1 and 2 in the same order. But they're asking us to actually swap the content of A and B, so that if I give it 1 and 2, the program actually prints 2 and 1, because the content of A and B is swapped. Okay, so write your program below and write your program above. This is where I need to swap the content of A and B. And there's a hint. You can introduce a third variable, and that's of course what we need, because I can easily copy one variable into the other like this. And what this statement actually does, let's go over it again. We know that this is an assignment to the variable A. So the content of A will become, you can read this as equals, but it's not really equals, right? It's becomes, A becomes, the content of A becomes whatever gets written on the right hand side as an expression, and that gets evaluated to a value. So he reads the whole thing on the right side. In this case it's just a variable name, and a variable name gets evaluated to the content of the variable. So the content of B gets assigned to A, meaning that actually we're copying the content of B to A. So let's assume that we have, to clear our thoughts, that we have given this program 5 and 7. Okay. Then by doing this, 7 gets copied into A. Okay. But now I have A containing 7 and B containing 7 as well, and the 5 is gone. So I should have safeguarded the 5 before I copied 7 into A. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make a safe copy into some new variable, and well, we might deem it a constant because we're not going to change it. It's just holding one of the values. So let's call it C. And C is going to be a copy of A, just to put it aside. So we're putting aside a copy of the content of A inside C. Okay, so A, the 5 in A, gets safely stored into C. So C contains now 5. And because, so C now contains 5. And because of the fact that C now contains 5, I can overwrite A with whatever's in B. So now A contains 7. Okay? And of course B still contains 7 as well. And finally I can now copy C into B. Okay? And then B will contain, of course, 5. And we have swapped the content of both variables. Okay, let's go over this one more time. A, which is in our example 5, gets copied into C. So now C and A both contain 5. Now I can overwrite A with the content of B. So now A and B both contain 7. but C still holds 5, right? So I can copy C now in side B, okay, which makes for B and C both containing 5 and A containing 7, which basically means that I have swapped the content of both variables. Okay, I will remove the content, the comments here, because this is just of course an example. Okay, to straighten our thoughts, and let's see if this program works. Yes, so I'm going to take out the tests for swap and just run it. And this seems to be okay. Well, you could of course give a better name to C. Sometimes they call it TMP for temporary variable, holding some temporary value. Okay, so that's one thing that you could change. I'm okay with C here, given the small size of the program and given the context of A, B, and then of course it's clear why you would use C. There's no use to have C as a variable here because we're never changing C, and of course you could have just as well copied B and then overwritten B with A. Okay, so that was another way to go, and then of course copy C back into A. So that's another way you could have gone. But I'm going to revert it back to what we had first. Okay, so it doesn't matter which value you safeguard into C, as long as that's the one you override then with the other variable, or the content of the other variable. This is something that programmers often do, okay, swapping the content of two variables, and that's a trick you can now add to your arsenal of things, of tools. Nothing more to say here, I guess. Let's go over it one more time, but it seems like we're done. Okay, so that's it for this exercise. I hope you understand what it was about. It was about not, of course, changing the rights, because you could easily have changed the rights and first write B and then A, but now we cannot do this. Just because, okay, Simon says, stay away from this, you cannot change this, you cannot change this, but in between you have to swap the content of the variables, okay? Sometimes you can't change code that's not yours, okay? And you can only change stuff in the middle. And that's what we did. We swapped variables, and of course, the star of this exercise is the assignment, okay? So again, once more, don't read this as C equals A. No, C becomes A, and even more, the content of C becomes whatever is the content of A. So you're copying variables in one another. If you copy a variable, okay, in this case A, of course A doesn't change. So you can copy a variable as many times as you want. You can read a variable as many times as you want. It will always keep its most recent value, but of course you can only contain one value in a variable. So if you write the variable, whatever value was there is gone now and overwritten with a new thing you assign to it. Okay, that's it for exercise 4.